The content on this channel is for informational and educational purposes only. Please contact a professional when it comes to your financial needs. Today, we're going to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart. It really is. I've been resisting the urge to respond to some of these comments about the debate of apartment renting versus owning a home. I don't want that smoke when it comes to people having a different opinion than mine, and they're welcome to it. But what I'm starting to see on social media with some of my favorite content creators is that you're getting a perspective of home ownership not being what these renters thought it was going to be, and they want to go back to renting an apartment. We're going to get into some actual numbers. Now, we're going to do it without disregarding the concerns and the issues that some people are having when they step into this ownership bubble. But understand this and understand it well. Whether you're paying your own mortgage or somebody else's, you still paying a mortgage. And we're going to talk about the numbers right here, right now on the Ujamaa network. Let's get to it. Shout out to my man P's World. He's one of my favorite content creators out there right now. Why? Not because of the British Caribbean accent he's rocking, but it's just a common sense factor. He brings a lot of common sense energy to his conversations and some very comical, entertaining stuff, but he always does it in a fair and balanced way, even if I don't agree with him 100% of the time. Especially when we start dipping into the topic we're going to talk about today, which is home ownership versus apartment renting. I like what he says. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I like what he says. Now, as you can probably see with these gray hairs, I done dipped into unk status right now. I'm deep into my unk years. I may not have the right perspective for all of my audience, people who are 18 to 35. My experience is going to be different from yours, so my take is going to be a little bit different from yours. But what we're going to get into, and I'm going to be referencing P throughout this entire podcast because, like I said, I find the brother entertaining, and I want to shed some light on some things that he brought to the net, and I want to talk about it with real numbers to back it up. I know things are different in the UK versus the US, but some things we kind of get down with. And I think we need to focus a lot on that than just getting your information from one point of view without getting a full picture of what's going on.
Okay, so y'all tell me if I'm tripping. So me and my mom got into it because I bought my home back in 2023, right? I have no kids. I'm single. Cool. Um,
Flex.
I work in corporate or whatever, but mind you, I live like an hour and 40 minutes from my job. Now,
Okay, that part, I understand. Commutes can affect your mood. But you know, nothing out the ordinary. Congratulations, young lady, for making this jump. Let's keep listening.
at the time when I bought the house, I was working fully remote. Okay, so they sprung that on me out of nowhere. Cool. I'm telling her I want to sell my house and move back into an apartment.
Yeah, see that look right there says it all. Um, mm-mm. But I'm gonna keep listening. We listen and we don't judge, right?
And I just, and she's like not agreeing with me. And I get it. I get it. Like when you hear of homeowner, like, you think of, okay, you can make a profit. Like your investment, it's an investment. Cool. I understand that. But it is very, very overwhelming. I mean, with the bills and all the stuff that comes with it, the mortgage, and if something breaks in the house, mind you, my washing machine broke maybe like a week after I bought them. I had to pay for that out of pocket. My heat broke. I had to pay for that out of pocket during the winter last year. Am I tripping? Like, I love living in an apartment because if something goes wrong, you could just call maintenance.
I hate this rationale. I hate that rationale with a passion. I mean, we're gonna get into it deeper when P get into his reaction. And we're getting into this, what I call the chain reaction. It's a reaction to a reaction video. But so far, she's echoing some of the concerns that people have when they buy a house. Oh, I gotta pay for stuff when it breaks. Yeah. But again, we listen, we don't judge.
It's just very convenient. And at the time when I lived in an apartment, I was close to the city. Like it took me no time to get downtown Atlanta. Like now I'm further
Ooh, she said Atlanta. Yeah. See, I'm in the metro. Yeah. I got an idea what this is. Yeah. So we're gonna keep listening and not judging.
out, and it takes me an hour and some change to get to work to and from. Like it's stressful as hell to me. And then it's like the money I make at my job, I make great money to be 27. Don't get me wrong. I make
Now the flex, 27, and she's saying herself, she making good money. If she making good enough money to get in this house, no matter what type of loan she got, she put down some money. She put down some money.
make great money. But the money compared to the money I got the money the bills I have to pay for this mortgage and everything else. Like, am I tripping that I want to move back to an apartment?
I personally don't blame young black women in particular for getting the house and getting the car and all this stuff. It's literally what they're told to do. Everyone around them, their parents, it's what they're told to do. So they go out and do it. They get the house at 25, 26. They're doing all this shit, right? The problem is, and this is where, poor people are poor for a reason, right? They don't understand how shit works. They aren't given financial advice, for example. Most people, when they buy property, they buy it from a position of weakness. So a lot of people aren't getting like surveyors to survey the house. They aren't getting like construction workers to come in and look. Oh, is there mold? Is there this? They aren't doing all that because they don't really have the money. They're scraping what they have so they can buy this house. Well, when you buy the house, guess what? The boiler might go. You might have that. The wiring might be out. Shit happens. Is the point that I'm trying to make. All of that is on you. All of that liability is on you.
Yeah, you got to pay the cost to be the boss. Now, that said, it don't mean you got to be broke, or you got to have a bunch of money in the pocket. Because, truth be told, the amount of money you paying over and above the amount you are renting, if you are in a situation like this young lady, like sounds like she's got some other stuff going on. She may have, that property tax is going to be associated with that house, insurance for the house. If she paid any homeowners association fees, that's going to kick in. You're paying all your utilities. Yeah, sometimes it can be when in an apartment, maybe you have the some of the utilities are included. But this is still piss poor reasoning because those appliances break down. How many times you gonna replace your stove, refrigerator, dryer, water heater throughout the ownership of your home? This is not adding up. The math ain't mathing.
Which is one of the reasons why when you buy a property, you're not supposed to live in it. You're supposed to buy it, give the liability to someone else. When you buy a property, you're supposed to have enough money in your bank account that if shit goes wrong, you're good.
Now, see, check it. Buying a house as an investment versus buying a house as a cash generator, two different things. The thought behind ownership, for me anyway, is building generational wealth. That's what this channel is all about. The fastest way to do that is to get some assets behind you. You not getting nothing behind you in that apartment except for somebody behind you in that elevator. There's no assets. You're not owning nothing. You paying. Now, whether you paying your own mortgage or paying that property manager your cut of that property's mortgage, that's up to you. But you're not getting any equity out of that home. You're not that apartment home, excuse me. No equity in an apartment, bruh. Equity is the great equalizer. Whatever you're putting out, there are two things that never gets talked about in these discussions. One, in the U.S., you get a tax write-off for owning that house. That insurance, that insurance interest rate, you're getting a standard deduction, and it could be last year it was like 14,000, 14. I forget what it was like 14,000, something like that. Seven to $14,000 a deduction off of your taxes, off of your income taxes. That's big. Do you get that in an apartment? Nah, bro. So you're losing that. You're not building any equity. Equity again is a great equalizer. Now you're paying a lot. And I've got a little chart here that we're going to get into right now about what you are actually paying. Now, I'm just going to break down here the types of loans that we have in the US. All right. First off, you've got your conventional loan. Now, for a first time home buyer, you're only having to put down 3% of the cost, total cost of that loan. So let's say this house was $300,000. That's how much a house in my subdivision just sold for, right? Notice out here, no homeowners association fee, so that's X. But if you are able to qualify for a conventional loan, that's about 10 racks you're going to put down. All right, cool. But you'll likely need to pay PMI. And what is PMI? It is private mortgage insurance. This is to cover the bank's interest if you default on your loan. Well, this is like she's in the process of doing right now. So you got to understand what these little costs are before you get into it. Now, next up, we got an FHA loan. Again, you got about 3.5% down payment, and your credit doesn't even have to be tight. The credit could be like 580. Going down the list. Yo, if you got trash credit, 500 to 579. For FHA loan, you can still get away with putting down 10%, but that's coming with some extras. Some programs in the US, like NACA, will help you out so you're not paying that PMI. That's just profit for the bank. VA loans, no money down. You serve this country, that's a veteran zone. USDA loan, similar, no money down. Harder to get, but if you can get them, no PMI, you're paying that straight interest, straight principal and interest, I guess it is, of 0%, paying the principal of the balance of the home. Now, conventional to avoid the PMI, that's where you're getting that 20 to 30% down on the house. That is a big number for anybody trying to get a house. That's the part where, hey, you got to make a decision on your own, which is why you can't criticize anybody for not wanting to buy a house, because that's a lot of money. $30,000, 30 racks. Yo, that's a lot of cash. So understand, this is not to criticize, it's just to let you know these are some actual costs. Now, you say that $10,000. What are we talking about? What are we talking about here? Well, let's talk about what it is to own, rent an apartment. Right now in Georgia, they want monthly income statements that equal up to 3 to 4 times the rent. They want you to be able to prove that you can make 3 times the rent to apply for this apartment. No major subsidies with buying an apartment or renting an apartment. You don't get any FHA help, no federal help with that. None whatsoever. The average cost of an apartment in the metro is around 2 grand. 1 or 2 bedroom apartment. You're talking about going from a home back to the hood. That's what you're talking about. Now, don't get it twisted. She might not be going back to the hood per se, but let's just keep it a buck. You're moving from, say, the Magnolia Point subdivision, and you're going back down to the Savage Arms apartments down off of MLK. You tripping, tripping. One thing that you do not get a cost of in this kind of situation is peace of mind. I know she was talking about that commute, and I think that has more to do with her decision. She's 27. Keep in mind, you move out an hour away, whatever side of Atlanta you on, you in a rural area. Like I'm in a rural area, pretty rural. It's getting more congested now because young people like this are moving out here, and then they beating the path back to Atlanta because it's too quiet out here for them. And see, she hit on something. She was commuting back and forth. She was working from home remotely, but got called back into work. Okay, she was probably chilling. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm chilling. I'm working from home. Um, that commute can mess with your mental, but honestly, so can living down in that city. Now I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. You're talking about somebody who is coming from Magnolia Bluff subdivision, and you talking about moving back down to the Savage Arms apartments down off of MLK. You tripping. There's something that you cannot get numbers on that is equally important. I'm talking about that peace of mind. She probably moved because it's too quiet for her out here. She kept talking. She said once that everything was nearby in Atlanta. She was able to get out. She's 27 years old with a bunch of money in the pocket, at least enough money to be able to bounce from that times three times the monthly rent paycheck she got, or put down on the house. She was able to do that. More power to her. She got money. Okay, now with that, she's 27. She ain't trying to be out here quiet, whatever. What subdivision, east or west. She ain't trying to be out here. It's too quiet out here. In other words, the niggas, they not out here. Uh-uh. She may, and I'm just saying this is just comedy now. She may want a crip. Oh my God. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Just what it is. There ain't nothing out here. Anyone now. That nightlife is not nightlife in out here. And that could be a draw to it. That's a young person's thing. Now, from unk status, yo, this is perfect. Perfect. I don't have to deal with what's going on down there. Trust me. It ain't nothing nice down in Atlanta in no section of the of that city. You can get it anywhere. We had two people get it on the highway. You feel me? Road rage. Real talk. Pop pop. That's what it is. That's just what it is. So I understand. I get it. That traffic will drive you mental. But a reason to go back, I'm not quite seeing it. I'm not seeing it. And again, no disrespect to the young lady. That situation is her situation. But as far as a financial long term decision, listen, you're giving up a whole lot. And the biggest thing is you've only been there for 2 years. So you have not built up any equity. Any. Whatever money you put down. And in 2023, the price of that home was definitely higher than what it is now. So you're going to take a L. You might get out of that mortgage, but you're taking an L. You're going to lose some money. And if you don't lose some money, you're losing out on future investment money. Because, hey, I'm going to tell you like right now, it got nasty for your boy. And it's some of the same things that happened to you. Maybe 3 or 4 years into me owning a house, my AC started having some problems. It cost me $12,000 to replace that unit. That didn't happen when it first happened, back when AC units upstairs and outside were still around $6,000. And I'd let it stay broken for a few years, not a couple, a few years. I went and got window units, like 100, $200, and sweated it out through that summer. Those summers. Listen, bro, if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. Whether you don't have it in an apartment or a home, it's the same thing, but you got to make sure you doing what's right for you. Understand? Even with those busted appliances, which is a small thing, your roof is going to have to be replaced. And what P said was right. You ain't got a certain amount of money to cover that stuff. Maybe it's not a good idea for you, especially if you're young. You ain't trying to be there forever. Now, where I will disagree with Pete is that the notion that you buying these houses to make money or income. Some people do, not me. You know what I'm saying? Only when it's profitable. If it's profitable, you want to start thinking about that. Really, this is a way to get out of that rat race. Right now, rents are out of control in Metro Atlanta. What she's paying per month is quadruple what my principal and interest is at this house. The average down there is quadruple what my principal and interest. Now, of course, I've got taxes, property taxes, and I've got homeowners insurance, and that's quickly rising. But all those things together, and it comes into one nice little package called my mortgage. It's nowhere near what rent is. It's about half of what rent is in Atlanta, and that's if you can get a good deal. That's why you come into this channel. You wanna know what it is. So there it is. $2,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment, or if you could come out where I'm at, again, half hour, 45 minutes from downtown Atlanta, and I'm paying under a G, taxes, principal and interest, and insurance. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Cause see, I could pay that 2,000 a month for rent, not getting into that. But again, I'm losing out on so much more money. I'm losing out so many tax breaks. It may not be worth it to you. It just may not. But again, you got to judge your own situation. Again, we're not gonna bash anybody for that opinion, but you got to understand. I don't think it's a. I don't think these are financial issues. This lady clearly said she got that cash, she got that bread. I don't think this lady or any of these younger people that are out there contemplating getting back out of this house they just got into are having financial issues. I think they got commitment issues. Just like in the dating world that P is talking about on this channel. They ain't trying to commit to no house, bro. That's what it is. This is a commitment issue. And that mortgage is a commitment. You ain't ready for this. Say that. Say that. Because really, after that 5th year in the house, you're going to be wondering why you didn't do this earlier. Let me know what you thought in the comments. I'll talk to you later.